Yeah, I introduced this as one of the overtly positive songs that I have, because I think I've written hundreds of songs. It's and I think each song is an act of hope. But I always say that's not always clear to people, so I have some overtly positive songs, and I point them out as we go along in the night. So we've got one.
Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party, your weekly musical happy hour where musicians pick an album from their back catalog and tell the stories behind their favorite tracks in front of a live online audience.
This week we talk with legendary folk singer John Gorka. He joins us from the same room where some of his 2001 album The Company You Keep was recorded, and we talk about the making of the star-studded album, exercising that songwriting muscle, and the influence of Abraham Lincoln, Jack Kerouac, Janis Ian, John Prine, and Jackson Browne. So pour a beverage, grab a snack, and kick back as we listen to music together here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, where it's always Friday and old albums never sounded better. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And today we have joining us, I did not confirm this, but I'm guessing you're joining us from your home in Minnesota.
I am. Yes. I'm John Gorka. I'm your guest.
And folks are so excited. We are excited to have you here, and you're one of our first return guests.
Oh, I'm glad to be back.
I think you were on one of our very first episodes, so we're really excited to have you back today.
Yeah, well, thank you.
And looks like Chris is joining us with a glass of red wine. It is our weekly happy hour. So tell us where you are tuned in from and if you're enjoying a beverage or a snack. Looks like Matthew Winters joining us from Orange, Connecticut, my homeland. And another Connecticut person, my mom, joining us from New Haven, Connecticut. And we're so happy that you're all here. And especially, John, that you are here.
Yeah.
And I know you've been sick recently, so you've come out of the fog and you're joining the living, and we're really happy that you're here.
Yeah, I got COVID last week, and I'm feeling better now. So I tested negative the other day, so I can't even contaminate you through the digital world.
All right,
excellent. And it looks, speaking of past guests, Deirdre McCalla is joining us, enjoying lentils and rice from Georgia.
Hello.
And Annie Capps, great musician from Michigan, and Christy from Cambridge, kombucha. All right. Tony, what are you enjoying today?
I am enjoying an NA hazy IPA from the Athletic Brewing Company in my Back Catalog Listening Party podcast.
Oh, fun. Yeah, excellent.
Ooh, yeah. And I'm enjoying a watermelon mint gin and tonic.
Ooh,
super fancy.
Boy, that sounds
so
fun.
very summery, refreshing.
John, are you partaking in any beverages?
I don't have anything. I was kind of rushing around, so I'll probably have a non-alcoholic Guinness after we're done here.
Excellent. Well, cheers to you, John,
Yeah,
for being here.
thanks.
Ellen,
Thanks.
Cheers to you, and cheers to all of you out there. Like Ellen said, this is a happy hour, and at happy hours you hang out and you chat. So if you have questions for John, if you have comments about the songs while we're listening to it, please get in the real-time chat and let us know, because we love hearing from you, and it makes the party that much more fun.
Yes, and it looks like Teresa's joining us from Columbus, washing dishes and doing PT. More fun with talking music. That does sound
Nice.
like a much better way of making the medicine go down.
We're here for you, Teresa.
Yeah, I've got PT in my near future as well, and as well as the other stuff. I look like I'm probably going to get a new hip in come October. So I'll be hobbling around until then.
Excellent. Well, we are so excited to have you back here at the Back Catalog Listening Party, and we're going to be revisiting your 2001 album, The Company You Keep. But before we dig into that, we would love for folks, I know probably most of the folks here are familiar with you and your music, but maybe you could give a brief 2-minute origin story of where you grew up and how you fell into making music and where this album fits into your very big discography.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think I knew I wanted to be a writer before I knew music was going to be the way. And at sometime, I guess in junior high or probably late junior high, I had a friend Bill Jimo, who wrote songs, and I didn't know anybody who wrote songs, and I didn't know that was possible for people like me or people that I knew. So, and I knew that I was struck by the power of words. My dad worked at a tag and label factory, and one time I remember him bringing home a sample of his work, which is Salada tea bags, and they on the back of the Salada tea bags they had wise sayings, and I was always impressed with what people could say in a few words. So anyway, I loved the sound of the banjo. I wanted to be a banjo player first, and I picked up the guitar about 6 months later. My brother plays guitar, and so I started writing songs pretty much right away because I didn't know enough about music to play other people's songs the right way. So my versions of my own songs sounded a little bit better than my terrible versions of other people's songs. So and I think felt like and I'm not a really outgoing person. I'm a pretty shy and socially awkward, as I'm sure I'll demonstrate at some point if I haven't already. Uh, and I found out that I felt like the writing songs was the perfect form of expression for me because I was able to combine with what I could articulate in the words with what I couldn't find words for but could express through the music. So that was when I started to write songs, and I mostly started in high school and college. I came in to a group of people, the Razzie Dazzy Spasm Band, uh, uh, and uh, my friend Doug Anderson had a great record collection and knew hundreds of songs. We would get together every Friday, and so there was just he wrote songs. He wrote really really good songs. So. He took me to Godfrey Daniels one afternoon and introduced me to the Bethlehem, Pennsylvania folk scene, and it was there. When I saw the people who played there, I thought this is all these people were great people who are playing here, uh, uh, whose music I had not heard before, whose names I had not heard before. So I thought if I could be like one of the people who plays in a place where like this where people listen, that would be the best thing. So I started going volunteering there while I was still in school and going to the open mic nights, and I started even hosting the open mic nights while I was still in school, and stuck around because of after graduation because I didn't know of any place like it, and uh, gradually became kind of a general purpose volunteer, and I helped out and uh, occasionally started to do opening acts there. And sometimes the people I opened shows for would open doors for me in other parts of the country. And so Jack Hardy was one of those people I opened for in January of '84, and I met him at the Razzie Dazzy Brothers. Russ Rentler and I, is a subgroup of the Razzie Dazzy Spasm Band, opened for Jack while we were still in school in June 1979. And the next time he came through, I opened for him by myself, and he was uh, well, getting back to the '79 thing. He was the first person I met who wrote songs on a schedule, and I didn't know anybody who did that. I just kind of just waited for inspiration to strike. And he said, that's a cop out. If you work at it, you put yourself on a schedule, you write more songs, you'll get better faster because you'll just kind of exercise the writing muscles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to do that. And after I did, I didn't think a song a week seemed a little too ambitious. So I thought, if I can do a song a month, okay, that will be my goal. And I did that for the first year and ended up coming up with more songs than months. So I went to 2 songs a month, and I did that
Nice.
did that for the next bunch of years until having kids. And some, like I said, some of the people who opened doors for me open doors for me in other parts of the country. Nancy Griffith and uh, Claudia Schmidt, great people. So that's the and gradually I got a chance to play, and I feel lucky. I'm grateful that I got to do this.
Yeah. Well, and we're all grateful because we've gotten
Yes.
so many songs out of that over those years, and we're excited to dig into this record. Again, when you were on the show before, we revisited. Did we do Jack's? Did we do
Jack's
Jack's
Pros.
Bros? I think
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
so. We did a much earlier record, and this one comes a little bit later in discography. Came out in 2001, and on the Red House label.
Right.
And we're gonna just dive into the music because I know folks are itching for it.
All right.
So the first track that you picked to feature from this record is called "What Was That?" Is there anything that you want to say before we take a listen?
I think one of my favorite things about this is Kathleen Johnson's
Mm.
singing on this song. So I think she's going to be hopefully coming in to sing on the current recording that I'm working with Rob Genetic, who produced the company you keep. So so I think this is Gordy Johnson on upright bass, Rich Dworsky on piano,
Mm.
and Andy Stochansky on percussion.
Oh, cool.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
a great way to start our hour
All right.
today. This is John Gorka. What Was That? Here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Guess I better get back up, get up off the ground again. I guess I'm really not so tough. Up there's farther than it's ever been. It's not just that my pride's been hurt, not just that my heart's been bruised. I fell down on my big ideas. It's gotten me a bit confused. Unless you are a true bad boy, your conscience is a constant threat. Time for a new idea, one to discard regret. Prime time to forgive, prime time to forget. What was that I just said? What was that I just said? What was that I just said? Such a waste of time. It's better not to second guess. Maybe I should just pick a town, one where I've never made a mess. Move along when the crowd is right, stand alone when the crowd is wrong. I always have the lone wolf way, distill the instinct to get the gone. Prime time to forgive, prime time to forget. What was that I just said? What was that I just said? What was that I just said? Of time, it's better not to second guess. Maybe I should just pick a town, one where I've never made a mess. Move along when the crowd is right, stand alone when the crowd is wrong. I always have the lone wolf way, distill the instinct to get to gone. Prime time to forget, prime time to forget. What was that I just said? What was that I just said? What was that I just said?
I forgot about those last couple notes in
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah,
That
that's Dirk Frameth playing electric guitar. I forgot to mention
ah,
him. So,
beautiful,
Wow.
beautiful
Sounded
stuff. And
great.
that was John Gorka with What Was That from his 2001 release, The Company You Keep, which we are revisiting today on the back catalog listening party with John Gorka joining us live from Minnesota. And if you're new to the show, this is the show where we revisit old records and we talk with the artists about the making of the album, the writing of the songs, and we want you to engage. So if you have questions and comments, throw them in there. Folks loving the music, but Pam had a question. What's the gorgeous instrument that kind of sways prominent at the
yeah,
end?
that's Dirk Frameth playing electric guitar. Yeah,
Hmm,
he's
excellent.
yeah he's uh, originally from he was born in Germany. He's been living in the U.S. for a long, long time, and he's just a fantastic player of finding parts. And I think he's living in New York City at present.
And a lot of the other people, though, who played on this record, you recorded it in Minneapolis, right? With Rob
Right,
Genetic, you said?
right at the brew house. Right, it was everything is was live except for uh, Dirk was overdubbed and Kathleen was overdubbed. Everything else happened as you heard it.
Wow. It's gorgeous. Really gorgeous.
I also was really impressed by Rob's how he had things set up because it sounded like on the first playback it sounded like a record. It's like wow, this is the first time I worked with Rob as a engineer. He is engineer and producer. So very very fun to get to work with him. I'm glad that I still get to work with him.
Yeah, and you mentioned Rich Dworsky, who, of course,
Yeah,
played on Prairie Home Companion for
yeah,
years,
Mm-hmm.
and Andy Stochansky, who is a great
yeah.
solo artist, but also played with
Played
Ani
with yeah.
DeFranco. And then Kathleen Johnson, who sang with someone named Prince. I don't know.
Hmm.
Someone,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Wow.
yeah. So some great talent you assembled. Were these folks that you had played with before, or is this did Rob help assemble his team?
I worked with Andy on the record before this one, where I sent him. Uh, I think I sent him demos of songs. I think that were in time, and he sent back these percussion parts, percussion parts on ADATs. And if you know
Oh,
those,
wow.
remember the
Yeah.
ADATs, and that was kind of it had a very different sound. It was very very fun. It was my first time coming back to Red House, and this was the first one. This was the one right after that. Working with these guys, and the first time working with Rob Genetic.
That's great. And how did you bring these songs to the band? Was this something, did everybody get demo tapes ahead of time, or did you bring
I
them all in the
think so.
studio and say, let it rip?
No, I think everybody probably had demos of everything, and there's probably they we didn't do a lot. I don't recall doing a lot of rehearsal. I don't think we did any rehearsal. It was just that coming in. 'Cause I think Andy came from Canada, uh, and Rich and Gordy and were and me were all local.
How much creative direction do you give in a situation like that? Are you letting them just use their talents and skills to
I
fill it in, or
generally
are you
try to
helping
pick,
them out?
ask, and Rob assembled a lot of these, people, got in contact with these people. So it's just like, try to pick good people and get out of their way because they know more about their instrument than I do. And, I've, yeah, generally that's I think my approach is it's also my approach to the songs as well as often just get out of their way, let the song come and let the song be what it wants to be. But with people who are that talented, it was just it is fun to do. I'm glad we could make some music.
Yeah, and I love how that song it's such a vibe. I mean, it's such a it's a great song, great lyrics, but how you just, like, let it go at the end, like, just
Hmm.
sort of
I was surprised
repeating
that
and jamming out.
I hadn't listened to that in a while. I said, "Wow, this goes on."
But I didn't want it
It
to
was fun.
stop, like, I
Yeah,
was,
no,
like,
no, no.
totally into it. It
I
was
was alright.
great.
It's like, "Oh, how did this end?" I just wondered.
You
But,
don't hear that much in modern kind of radio type of music, anyways.
not a lot of
The extended endings, the fade out.
yeah, right.
Well, it's so great to hear this record again. This is
Yeah, it's
actually one of
fun.
my favorites, and Annie
I have,
Cap said the same thing.
haven't listened in a long time, so this is fun for me too.
Excellent. Well, if folks have questions or comments as we go, again, feel free to throw them in there. And Teresa says, great approach, assembling good people and getting out of the way. That's right.
Hmm.
And well, we are going to keep going with the tunes because we
Yeah,
want to squeeze in as many as we can tonight.
because
Um,
morning's okay.
and Morningside, yeah, is the next
Yeah,
track that you picked.
yeah. I introduced this as one of the overtly positive songs that I have, because I think I've written hundreds of songs. And I think each song is an act of hope. But I always say that's not always clear to people, so I have some overtly positive songs, and I point them out as we go along in the night. So we've got one, and this is Morningside, and this is one of those ones. I wasn't, I don't always know which songs are going to grab people, or they're all my children. I try not to play favorites, but now I remember I wasn't sure of this song, if this was up to snuff, and then uh, it was. I remember Bob Feldman from Red House Records. It was his. I think it was his favorite. So and when Lucy came in and sang, she might have sung right here in this room. That there's the recorder in the ADAT in the other room. So she might have done her harmony part right in this room.
And that's Lucy Kaplansky.
Lucy Kaplansky, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm ready for some positive vibes. I don't know
All
about
right,
y'all.
all right.
let's get them
song coming
going
up?
here today. This is John Gorka, Morningside, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Am I a fool at this late day to heed a voice that says that you can be great? I heard it young, now I hear it again. It says you can be better than you've ever been. Don't wanna waste what I have to give and all of the time that I've left to live. Don't wanna waste what I have to give and any of the time I've got left. I can do more than I thought I could. Work brings more luck than knocking on wood. There's random bad and random good. Work brings more good luck, good luck. Good luck. You ask the world, and the world says no. It's the world's refrain. Mine says go. You ask the world, and the world says no. It's an old world refrain. Mine says go. Don't wanna waste what I have to give and all of the time that I've left to live. Don't wanna waste what I have to give and any of the time I've got left. I can do more than I thought I could. Work brings more luck than knocking on wood. There's random bad and random good. Work brings more good luck, good luck. Better be off. I've got dreams to dream, though it seems uphill and a little extreme. But if I can find hope in this fading light, then I'll find you on the morning side. If I can find hope in this fading light, then I'll find you on the morning side. Don't wanna waste what I have to give and all of the time that I've left to live. Don't wanna waste what I have to give and any of the time I've got left. I can do more than I thought I could. Work brings more luck than knocking on wood. It's random bad and random good. Work brings more good luck, good luck, good luck.
All right. John Gorka here on the back catalog listening party with Morningside from his 2001 release, The Company You Keep, which we are revisiting today, and with John Gorka joining us live, and all of you folks loving the music, Alinda loving the song, and Matt Winters telling a funny story about being at the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival, and John asking the crowd, old song or new song? Old,
Yeah.
fast or slow? Fast, happy or sad? Sad, old, fast, and sad. Okay. And then John launched into Land of the Bottom Line, which I think is so great. And I think that might have been the first place I heard you perform live, John, is at the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival many years ago. So great place to hear music.
Yeah.
But that actually got me thinking, do you ever change up the tempo of the songs, or sort of like mix up the vibe? Sometimes you write a song and you write it one way, and then you end up recording or performing it in a different way. Maybe this started off as a fast, hopeful song instead of a slow, hopeful song.
Right. Yeah. No, it does. The feel and the tempo changes over time. There are some songs that, like, there's a song called "When You Sing" on a more recent record that I play faster now, and there's some songs that maybe one of the ones we'll get to later, where I've actually finished the song after I recorded it. So this. So I do them slightly different now, but yeah, they do change. Sometimes in the moment, a song, I'll think of, what will happen if I have it as fast as I can play it, see if I can keep up with it myself. That happens sometimes, but I try not to. I try not to experiment on listening paying audiences. I try to be in the moment and have a fresh version of the song, but not necessarily an untested version.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds great. And I just want to remind folks that if you like what you hear, you can get this music. And I don't know if do you still have physical copies of this album, John?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if
and
you go,
I'm the guy who sends them out. So if you want to order from the johngorka.com website, I'm the guy. I sign every one of them, and I'm the guy who sends them out. So
how
excellent.
cool is that? Well,
Touched by the stars.
Right.
Yeah, I just put the link in our comments, so click on it, buy
All
the
right.
record, and I gotta say, I mean, it really is such a good sounding record. That fretless bass and
that was Michael Manring. Yeah,
the percussion, like knocking on a door. But I mean,
yeah,
the subtleties of the stereo field. I mean, this is definitely an album you want to get the high resolution version, folks.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Put on some headphones. John, you mentioned loving those listening rooms. Well, this is the ultimate listening room.
Right.
When you put your headphones on and can hear it also. I'm just going to second Ellen's suggestion to just go buy it.
All right.
And it goes a long way to tell John how much you appreciate him too.
Yeah, I will send it out as soon as possible.
Excellent.
I've got a little. I'm not out until the 24th. I think I leave town, so I've got time before then to get to the post office.
Excellent. And we should mention that when you're at johngorka.com, you can also check out his tour dates, and you'll see that he's playing all over the place this summer: New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and more.
Yeah. Before the new hip comes along.
I imagine there'll be some writing happening maybe while you're laid up.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to move better than I can right now. So that's the.
Now, do you still maintain your kind of that work ethic that you talked about, where you just get up and you just do the job every day?
Not so much, but I try to pay attention and pick up the instrument and see. Some things have been coming unbidden. There's I do a workshop with Eliza Gilkison called Casa de Musica, where it's an online workshop, Thursday night through Sunday evening. Uh, and sometimes we suggest have little prompts. And one of the prompts that I used, I ended up writing a song from it. So uh, it's a mysterious, still a mysterious thing. And I have a song. It's probably be on the next one called My Favorite Place. And it goes, my favorite place to be is in the middle of a song when it isn't completely right, but it's not hopelessly wrong. My favorite place to be is in the middle of a song. So I still love the process. And it's just a matter of, there's lots of other things kind of competing for time as you get older. So, I still love to play and I still love writing songs. So hopefully I can keep doing it a while longer.
Excellent.
We hope
Well,
so.
I'd be curious because you've written so many songs. You've also put out lots of records, but I'm guessing not all of them have landed on records. How many do you have? Do you think that you've written that
Run on
kind
record,
of that are just kind of hanging out there?
probably a dozen. There's probably
Mm.
at least a dozen. Uh, uh, yeah. So I have to, and sometimes I was thinking about one that Mustard's Retreat does a song about a high school reunion that I've not put on any of my records, and I remember. Yeah, that's. I guess that's that. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Well, I want to piggyback on that question and
Yeah,
just ask about your approach to putting together a collection of songs. Because here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, we love
yeah,
album format because it's
yeah.
oftentimes a snapshot into maybe a certain
Right,
time and place for an artist.
right.
But there's other ways to approach the album. Like, what is your process? Kind of telling that story from front to back on a record.
I think I try to prepare more songs than I can record more songs than I can fit on the record, and see how they get along. See if see like I think there's on the current project there's some misfits that never made it on previous records, and it kind of misfits and new things, and that may be the title of the song. I don't title of the record, but so it. Just seems which ones seem to belong together, uh, and it seems if there's. I remember Bob Feldman was big on sequencing records and going from
Mhm.
song to song. So think just a general feeling that it's a family, a little group that may not always get along all the time, but are always relatives. I think the
They-
company you keep, I think is like that. Uh, this is this was done just my our kids were born in 1997, October 97 and December of 1999. So some of these songs on the record are kind of family like around the house as on this record. We're not going to be playing that today. And uh, uh, let's see, over there. No, there's songs on this record that are definitely coming from being a dad.
Mhm.
So I think that's the company you keep, and family is the company you keep, and your friends are those uh, yeah, are also the company you hope you can keep.
Mhm.
Yeah, no doubt.
The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Supporting the show with small and large donations every month, this committed group of music lovers keep the party going and enjoy special perks like getting first look at our upcoming guests and invitations to private after parties and live stream performances with the artists. If you'd like to learn how you can become a patron of the show, please visit patreon.com/Back Catalog Listening Party.
Well, we're gonna try and squeeze in all the ones you picked. For
All right.
those of you who
Okay, I'm
are
talking to them.
No, you're not at all. It's perfect. But for those of you who aren't aware of the process of how we do things here at the Back Catalog Listening Party, we just invite artists we love to be on the show, and then they pick the record and they pick the songs that we listen to. So there are many great songs on this record. So you'll definitely want to buy it because we won't have time to revisit all of them. But this is the next song that John picked, and it's one of my favorites. It's called Oh Abraham. Is there anything you want to say before we take a listen?
Yeah, so I'd been reading about Abraham Lincoln, some of the things he wrote and said and did, and also one of those Beat Generation books about Jack Kerouac and his pals. So I sometimes say it when I introduce the song. It's the only song I have that has Abraham Lincoln and Jack Kerouac in it. So and it's let's see who.
Keeping good company.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ani DeFranco sings on this. So.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's give it a spin. This is John Gorka, Oh Abraham, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I see a penny and I pick it up. If not the money, I could use the love. And if it's face down, then I turn it over. Head for Wood Avenue between Inman and New Dover. Back to my hometown. Gas is cheaper where I'm from, but the driving's not so good. People go and stay where they should not, and they don't do it like I would. Work is not the same as before. More software hands in the hardware store. Yeah. Oh, Abraham, look at all the money now. Oh, Abraham, good night. It's your party, but I'll cry if I want to. Wouldn't care how much they had if they would only do what's right. I was born by a Keruoac stream, under Eisenhower skies. They saw freedom as a big idea. Now it was right before my eyes. They say Jack helped to build the Pentagon, and I built the interstate that we are up and on, off and on. Oh, Abraham, was it all about the money then? Oh, Abraham, good night. It's your party, but I'll cry if I want to. Oh, moneyed up and charmed with might, so we are right, we're always right. We're right, they're wrong, let them get their own song. We're right, they're wrong, let them get their own song. I see a penny and I pick it up, and I still miss you here.
All right. John Gorka with Oh Abraham from his 2001 release, The Company You Keep, which we are revisiting today on the Back Catalog Listening Party with John Gorka joining us live. And that song and Ani singing on it is so
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah. And also feels, this came out in 2001. So,
I
we're
know that
23
unfortunately.
years down the road and it still feels fairly relevant.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Ooh. The one line I sing differently now that it's in that last verse. Um, Instead of I sing, "Oh Abraham, was it all about the money?" Then, "Oh Abraham, good night. It's your party, but I'll cry if I want to. All moneyed up and charmed with might." So we were right. I sing now, all powered up and charmed with might. I had too much money in that verse. Too
mm.
much money. I had
Interesting.
money one too many times. So error.
Yeah. Well, folks loving it. And Chris had a question. He says, John, were there any singer-songwriters from the 60s and 70s that inspired your writing and playing style?
Oh yeah, so
Mhm.
many of them. All the ones their names began with J. Joni Mitchell, Janis Ian, John Prine, Jackson Browne, Joni Mitchell. There's a million. They're all named J, but also Judy Collins. And I love the all them. Steve Goodman, and then the people I got to see at Godfrey Daniels, Stan Rogers. I loved his music, and like Claudia Schmidt, and Nancy Griffith, just great. Rosalie Sorrells and Utah Phillips, really great people. So it's the people I listened to because there was a used record store on Third Street in the south side of Bethlehem where I would get a lot of records, and there was uh, uh, quite a few. I remember I had Michael Johnson, J name, but last name J name.
It still counts.
Michael, yeah, and just yeah. So I felt like I discovered this the world of music through records and also through the live music that I heard at Godfrey's.
Mm.
That's great. Well, I want to piggyback on that
Yeah.
and ask if there's any contemporary songwriters, new folks that you've gotten into in later
Well,
years here.
Antje Duvakat,
Mm.
I think is one of my all-time favorites. She's terrific. There's the I'm spacing. There's lots and lots of there's no shortage of talent out there in the world. So my son is a aspiring singer songwriter as well, and he can tell me people that I should listen to that are from
He's hipping
these
you to
days.
some new stuff.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I love it.
Well, we'll make sure to put a link to Ansha's music.
Yeah.
Definitely someone we been talking to about having on the show.
Oh,
And
fun.
um, if you have any questions for John about his music, his songwriting, about this record, anything like that, feel free to throw them in the comments. We don't have too much time left. We'll get to hopefully both of the next two songs. But before we do, I want to take this opportunity to thank our Patreon supporters. And these are the
Mhm.
folks that have kept this show going
All right.
for 4 years.
What?
And
That's
so
terrific.
John was first on the show in the very beginning when we were still
Yeah.
figuring things out. We're still figuring things out, but thanks to these folks, we've been able to bring over 200 episodes of music and conversation. Penny, Anna, Linda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Alex, Becky, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Matt, Steve, Mark,
Dot.
Homestead Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Mary, Many Checks, Nikki, Joni, David, CJ, Wiley, Stephanie, Christy, Diane, Hetty, and maybe you. If you would like to join the Patreon and get invites to the live shows and also special after parties, you can get that Founders Pint Glass that Anthony is
It's now
enjoying.
empty. That's
It's now
always the sign
empty.
of a good
All right.
episode.
All right.
That's
Excellent.
a
All
good
right.
show. Time well spent. And but seriously, these are the folks that have kept the show going, and a lot of them are here tonight. So thank you so much for joining us, and here's to our Patreon community.
Yeah, cheers.
For for
Yeah,
keeping the show going.
and we do appreciate all the comments and questions and stuff. I think of these shows now as kind of living liner notes. It's something we
Mhm.
don't get anymore with our
Right.
MP3s and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and we get to interact with it, and it's such a
Mhm.
special thing, and we appreciate everybody for participating in this.
Yes.
Indeed. And we are going into this next song, which is another one that you perform a fair amount live.
Yes.
This
Mhm.
is called Let Them In. Is there anything you want to say
Right.
about this?
Sure. I wrote it. A friend of mine, Doreen Flannery from Ohio, sent me a poem that her mom had saved when she was a nurse in the Philippines during World War II. And they didn't know who wrote the poem, but they sent it to me. I made it into a song, and played it at a sound check at a group show in Spokane, Washington. And David Wilcox, who was a part of the tour, asked if he could record it, and I said yeah, and he did a nice version of it. And also, it was a version of this was recorded by Edwin McCain.
Hmm.
And let's see. The poem was written by a woman from Western Pennsylvania. Her name was Elma Dean, and it's a song that goes out to the ones who didn't come home, and for the ones who remember.
All right, well, let's give it a listen. This is John Gorka. Let Them In here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Let them in, Peter. They are very tired. Give them couches where the angels sleep, and light those fires. Let them wake whole again to brand new dawns, fired with the sun, not wartime's bloody guns. May their peace be deep. Remember where the broken bodies lie. God knows how young they were to have to die. God knows how young they were to have to die. Give them things they like. Let them make some noise. Give roadhouse bands, not golden harps, to these our boys. And let them love Peter, 'cause they've had no time. They should have trees and bird songs and hills to climb. The taste of summer in a ripened pear, and girls sweet as meadow winds with flowing hair. Tell them how they are missed and say not to fear. It's gonna be all right with us down here. Let them in, Peter.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
John Gorka, Let Them In. And you know, it's been so long since I've heard the recorded version. And often
Too.
when you play it live, you sometimes even play it, I think, on piano.
Yeah,
Um,
mostly. Yeah.
but hearing it not with, the violin and then
Yeah.
obviously that heavy bass in the beginning, but then all the other layers, like
Mhm.
I'm assuming that's Lucy Kaplansky singing, but like
Lucy and Jennifer Kimball from the school.
yes.
Yeah, the two of them
Yeah.
came, and that was the whole thing was recorded at Paisley Park. It
Mm.
was in '95. It was one of the songs that didn't make it onto the Between 5 and 7 record,
Mm.
and but I was able to. Anyway, there was legal stuff there with that record company, but it worked out. I ended up owning the masters of the unused things, and yeah, so that was done. Tommy Tucker. This version was mixed by Tom Tucker Sr. but it was recorded by Tom Tucker Jr.
Mm.
At Paisley Park, and it was originally released on a Red House record sampler called "House on Fire,"
Mm,
Mm.
Volume 2. But it was neat to be able to work at Paisley Park.
yeah. And
Absolutely gorgeous.
and also some of the guitar parts at the end, who
Yeah,
was doing that?
That's Dean McGraw.
I was
wondered who it
wondering.
was.
Yeah,
I
Dean
was putting
McGraw
money on
and
that.
yeah, Dean McGraw and Peter Ostrushko was playing
Ugh,
the fiddle. Just a
yeah.
fantastic
Ah,
musician. Oh, such a loss.
So
that
good.
added a lot.
And when you recorded that, were you all live? Because there's so much interplay between
Yeah,
the violin and the guitar, especially. But
it was the me, Peter and Peter, Dean, and Michael Manrix was the four of us. And yeah, so it was done. And then Lucy and Jennifer came in and sang it later.
ugh,
I'm going to second Brent's comment here. Wow. Hey, Brent. Yeah, it's and we've talked about this before about how good it sounds for us. We get to hear the uncompressed version, and if you are an audiophile or just someone who loves the great tones of instruments and the people who play them, I highly recommend you pick this record up. You can go to John's website. We have that in the comments, and pick it up. He said he mails them himself. He'll sign it.
That's right.
So,
I can
yeah, how
sign my
cool is
name. I
that?
can sign just about anybody's name.
Anyway, so get it.
yes, indeed. It sounds a lot better than yeah, it just sounds great when you get those high-res files. I do wanna we're gonna get to one more song before we leave
All right.
today, but Pam had a very important question. She said, "John, when does your new CD drop?" Because you mentioned you were working on a new record.
Yeah. Hi, Pam. I guess I'm not really sure. We have to get it done first. Hopefully, I get it done next couple months or so. But I think it's looking like January of next year. I'm not sure. I think it may be on Red House Records, owned by Compass Records now. It seems like I know a lot of people do it themselves, and I think I might stick with if they'll have me, I'll stick with Red House Compass Records, and I think that's just they know they know how to do that better than I would.
It's a great label, a really great
Yeah,
Yeah.
label.
yeah. Many of our artists who've been guests on the show have come through Red House and Compass, including the owner, Allison Brown's been a guest here. One of my favorite banjo players.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, boy.
and you can find out more info at johngorka.com. Sign up for his email list so you can know when that album's coming. And yeah, this has been so much fun having you here. And we're going to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
to one more song
All right.
before we head out. The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by EFS Publicity. Founded by veteran publicist, promoter, DJ, and musician Ellen Stanley, EFS brings an artist's perspective to the table, working to help clients get to the next level in their career. Services include national and international media campaigns, radio promotions, tour press, crowdfunding, grant writing, and more. Get a quote or set up a consultation today at efspublicity.com. And this feels like a good one to end on.
Yeah, especially I'm getting my parts replaced. Uh, this is a song called "People My Age."
And how old were you when you wrote it?
Probably it could be 20 years. Oh, let's see.
Okay.
It was put out 23 years ago. So I was probably in my 40s or so, and I'm 65 now. So
Oh, my
66
goodness.
at the end of the month.
People my age,
People
it
my
works. It works for every age,
I met
folks. Oh, go ahead.
Cheryl Wheeler said. I remember he said, "This is an old song now, isn't it?"
Oh, it's a great way to finish off our hour
All right.
with John. This is John Gorka, People My Age, here on the Back Catalog
Yeah.
Listening Party.
People my age have started looking gross. I cannot say all, and I shouldn't say most. I've seen them in the grocery, I've seen them up close. People my age have started looking gross. People my age are showing somewhere. There's holes where the teeth was, and their heads have gone bare. Their brains are shrinking, faces sinking into fat. And as for the mirror, we won't be looking into that. People my age have started looking gross. Maybe not in Colorado or up the Silicon Coast. Back in Pennsylvania, I'd eat scrapple on toast. Those were my first steps on the road to looking gross. Oh. People my age are looking overripe. Some are getting operations to tighten up what ain't tight. What gravity's ruined, they try to fix with a knife. What's pleasant in the darkness is plain scary in the light. Oh, gross.
Yeah, that's right. John Gorka, People My Age, which I think, is that the last song on the album, I think?
It is. It is. And there's a big pause between the song before was called Wisheries, and that works really well as a closer, I thought. And so if you didn't want, there's quite a long pause between the end of that song and the beginning of this song. So it gave people the chance to get up. If they didn't want to hear the song, there's plenty of time for them to get up and hit stop on the CD player before the song came on.
I love that. Well, folks were loving it. And
Yeah.
I have to say, I also appreciate the reference to scrapple, which,
Oh, yeah.
is a regional food for Pennsylvania listeners will appreciate.
It's
So.
making me hungry.
Yeah. Well, this has been such a treat to have you on the show today. John Gorka
thanks, John.
joining
Pleasure
us
to-
from
Pleasure
Minnesota.
to be here.
And if you liked this, then please share with your friends. And we archive all these shows at backcatalog.listeningparty.com. You can hear them there. And Chris says, thanks, John, for the second time being on another great Back Catalog Listening Party. Until next time. And we are just so happy that you're here. And go get this record, folks. John Gorka.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you to Deidre for the kind words about the part replacement. So thank you.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody for being here. Annie says, "Bravo, everyone!" And
Thanks, Annie. Hi.
Thank you all so much for being here and spending an hour just listening to good music with good people. That's what we're all about here, and we hope to see you again on the next edition of Back Catalog Listening Party. Until then, cheers and have a great rest of your week.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, which helps more people discover our show and our guests.
And do you want to be a part of the live show, get a first look at upcoming guests, and receive invites to private online parties and live streams? Then join our Patreon community at backcataloglisteningparty.com.
Have a great week. We'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.